Hello. Hello. Alright. I'm gonna hope the audio is okay. If it's not, please let me know. We're going to continue. Dang it. Why did she do that? That's about what I expected. Mion called me in the middle of the night. The social worker went to Satoko's house tonight after getting a call from the school. They had a talk with Satoko and her uncle. He told them that Satoko didn't go to school today because of a cold. He also claimed he didn't call the school because he didn't have the number. He explained that he spoke with Chie-sensei politely and that she just misunderstood his behavior. Satoko didn't really talk, but she never denied what her uncle was saying. So she said there's no abuse, and that she doesn't need any help? Yes. Satoko has always thought that her brother disappeared because she kept relying on him. That's why she thinks she needs to handle it on her own without seeking anyone's help? That's ridiculous. According to the social worker, she didn't have any obvious injuries, so they think this isn't an urgent case. It seems that she's being fed, and she has a place to sleep too. Shouldn't that be a given? Are you saying that it's not abuse as long as she has something to eat and somewhere to sleep? That's how they view it, at least. In some cases, people refuse to even let the social worker come inside the house. Just because they were able to talk with their uncle tonight, they determined that it wasn't urgent. Audio sounds good? Thank you, Kimono. How are you? So after all that, they decided to wait and see. I bet Shion is disappointed. Yeah. Just like how Satoko refused to seek anyone's help because of Satoshi, Shion is also trying desperately to save Satoko because of him. She seems calm now, though. Even though she's very upset. I know this isn't the time for complaining. But where the hell did Satoshi go? His sister is in danger. I have no idea where he is. I'm Dutch. After just a few hours, I've converted my ethnicity and national identity. What caused the change? I know. I'm sorry. I was hoping that he would save her if he came back. But it's a waste of time to think about that. I can't hope for someone else to save her. We're the ones who will. That's right. We have to do what we can. I'm impressed with the power of the Sonozaki family, though. You have information from the social worker already. You must have a spy in the center. Oh, going to Netherlands right there. I see. Have fun. I hope you have a good trip. That's a national secret. So, you know someone who knows a lot about the center? Did they give you any idea of what we should do next? Well, I was advised to just stay calm and see what happens. What the hell? Did you talk to them about the situation she's in right now? Her uncle is locking her up and he's abusing her. Why should we just kick back and see what happens? Well, Kechan, this is not my opinion, okay? I'm just telling you what I was told by my contact. See, it's true that Satoko didn't show up at school today, but it's just one day. It's not like she's been absent for weeks or months. We can't really deny the possibility that she has a cold. See the sights tomorrow. Train got delayed twice, was 40 minutes late. Oh, dang. I'm glad you had good food, though. That's good. I hate delays. Delays are awful. But she's being abused. You're saying that we should stay calm while she's being physically and emotionally harmed? Wait a minute, Kechan. That's the whole point. We're concerned because we know what happened to her last year. But she wasn't hurt yesterday or today. We can't really prove if she's being abused or not. She may not have a bruise on her body yet, but it's only a matter of time. Besides, Isn't it abuse to force her to come back and live with him? Got in at 11 p.m. and we left at 3:30. Oh my gosh. Ugh. That's a lot of travel. I'm glad you're there now, though. And yeah, I'm doing well. My family went off to go sightsee today, but I ditched them because I wasn't interested. So I'm streaming, and then I'm gonna go eat lunch with my dad later. Since he had to go to work. Tough. Remember what we were talking about at school? It's normal for a legal guardian to take in the child under their custody. We can't definitely say that it's abused yet. But we have to do something before it happens. I'm sorry for yelling at you. Lock the door and start a dono-thon. I can't really lock the door because they know the password. There's no, like, other lock. Dono-thon, though. What would we be saving for? I knew that wasn't Mion's opinion, but it felt like she was telling me that, and I raised my voice. When I sensed her dismay, I quickly apologized. I explained to my contact what happened with Satoko last year. But last year's case was resolved by waiting it out, too. Last year's abuse only stopped because of the fourth curse, right? It's not like the Child Consultation Center resolved it. Something you really want but can't afford right now? Not that I could think of. Good start. I mean, like, there's stuff, but nothing that I want to, like, do a dono-thon over, you know? Most things I want, I'm like, I'll just save for it myself. Maybe someday, though. Still, either way, both last year and now, the Child Consultation Center doesn't think her case warrants that much urgency. It seems our opponent this time is that difference in urgency between us and them. I see. We've done what we can. Now we need to come up with a plan B. We should have a meeting tomorrow. With all the fearless members of our club. We've gone through worse than this before. We'll save her for sure. Yes. As we spoke, I felt less angry about the decision that the Child Consultation Center made. It was something we expected anyway. I was being emotional for a while, but Mion wasn't taking it personally. She's usually a tough person, but I know that she feels very weak when something like this happens. I have to be careful to not get too emotional with her. Our enemy was Teppei. I couldn't yell at my friends just because I was frustrated. I almost forget sometimes, but Mion is a girl. There's no way yelling at her without cause wouldn't hurt her. I think I have a tendency to lash out with my emotions sometimes. I definitely need to rein in that bad habit, especially during emergencies like this. All I could do by myself was probably the same thing Shion was suggesting earlier. But I knew it wouldn't make Satoko happy. We club members are fearless, but the power I possess is the smallest among all of us. That's why I needed to communicate with them. If we united, we would be able to come up with a better plan. I couldn't think of a plan all by myself. 3 heads are better than 1. We would definitely figure something out. I'm going to call Rika-chan now. Will you call Rena? Sure. Rena was a good match for Shion today. She impressed me a lot. She's tough when push comes to shove. Yeah, Rena's always reliable when we're in trouble. But you impressed me too, Ke-chan. You were kind of cool today. I just kind of feel embarrassed now. That speech was a little corny, huh? I'm hanging up now. I'm sure Rena's waiting. Give her a call, okay? Yep. Say hi to Rika-chan. I think she's been hurt the most by all of this. Rika-chan was looking at the ground with a depressed look on her face all day. My chest hurt just remembering it. It must be even more painful to look at Satoko. Mion hung up the phone. I also hung up and then called Rena. She picked up the phone after one ring, which surprised me. Hello? Rena? You were waiting for the call, huh?
Yes. I called you, but it was busy, so I didn't know what to do.
You called me when I was talking with Mion. She's calling Rika-chan now. She told me to call you. Let me explain to you what happened.
Okay. is the case on hold?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I'm really upset, but that's what we expected. I can guess what they said. It's only been a day, so there's nothing definite. She may have missed school because she really had a cold today. Plus, she doesn't have any obvious injuries. Is my guess right?
Did you put a bug on my phone? Yeah, you got it exactly right. It's total BS.
It's only been a day, such a horrible phrase, isn't it? Especially since it'll be too late after he really hurts her.
If he really does, then Satoko's injuries will be plain for everyone to see. But if that happens, her uncle will never let any social workers see her. And then they'll just say that they couldn't find any signs of abuse and go back to waiting again.
It's such a huge contradiction, isn't it?
Apparently, they need court approval to force entry, but applying for that isn't easy. So while the social workers may be supposed to have great legal power, in reality, their hands are tied and they can't act if the family turns them away. They're not the police. They're not the ones who storm in even if they have to break windows to do so. Dang it! Then who does have the right to break those windows? FBI, open up! If we did, I'd smash them wide open. Anyway, they're not serious about this case. They have no idea what'll happen to Satoko if we don't do anything about it.
I'm impressed.
Wait, why?
You just moved the village not too long ago. You've only known her for just a few months. But you're so serious about saving her. You don't even know what happened to her last year. But you can imagine how hurt Satoko-chan is right now. If you were an ordinary person, I'm sure that you'd tell us. Just relax. It's only been a day.
It's not that difficult to imagine how horrible it is for her. I also heard from you guys how terrible it was last year. It's no question that this case requires your immediate attention.
That's still impressive. You stopped Shi-chan when she tried to leave the classroom. What you said there was pretty deep.
Do you think Satoko would appreciate it if you saved her by committing murder?
It's not something an average boy would say. In fact, sorry, but I thought you were gonna say something like what Shi-chan suggested.
That's our Rena. She saw right through me to the core. To be honest, I was able to keep my calm because Shion caused that commotion. I, too, thought our only option was to kill him. What's there to hesitate about? Everything would be resolved if we went over and killed her uncle right away. I thought those same things myself. And then I thought about how I would actually kill him. First, I'd assault him with a metal bat or something. But before that, I would scope out his house and dig the hole to bury his body in ahead of time. When I imagined it, I envisioned myself actually digging the hole with a camping shovel in the woods. I repeated, "This is for Satoko. This is for Satoko," in my mind like a mantra, trying to forget the weight of the murder ahead. I relived that. Exhaustion and frustration. I could very clearly imagine myself standing there, soaking with sweat and covered in mosquito bites. Then I'm sure I'd call her uncle or something to lure him out of the house, and bludgeon him to death. Then I repeated my mantra, "This is for Satoko. This is for Satoko," blaming her for that serious crime as I tried to avoid my own guilt over committing murder. Did Satoko ask me to do that? Am I going to blame it all on her because I committed murder? Would she appreciate that? No, she wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to tell anyone that I had killed someone. No one would appreciate my deed, and I'd have to carry that burden for the rest of my life. That pathetic future is one I couldn't have imagined in the rush I felt before carrying out the murder. I decided to kill him so that I could return us to happier times. But that act of murder also meant shattering the thin path that could lead us back there. I was able to imagine it that far ahead. That's why I didn't say it out loud like Shion did. If I hadn't thought that far, I probably would have joined Shion in shouting, "Kill him! Kill him!"
It would have been really hopeless if you had done that. I'm glad you have such a vivid imagination. I'm glad.
Was that really just my imagination, though? Did I imagine killing her uncle in my mind? Could imagination alone really be that vivid? Hi, Gray, how are you? I could smell the earth, taste the scattered dirt flying into my mouth, see the pebbles scattered as I shoved my shovel down, and hear the roots cracking from its weight. The image was so real. It felt more like I'd actually done it in the past. That's right. It's important to imagine the consequences.
Right. You don't want to grow up with no imagination. I think you'll grow up to be a calm, reasonable adult, Keiichi-kun.
I wonder if that was only my imagination. I feel like I've been through a different life before.
People with good imaginations can take a look at every possibility. If you really feel like you saw the future, I think it wasn't just your imagination. You saw a possible future that could have happened.
In that imaginary world, the Child Consultation Center put her case on hold too. Satoko came back to the school for a while. But she broke after only a few days. Satoko was bearing the abuse, but even something small would be enough to break her. Just like an old bowl that had a crack in it. One day, that crack will eventually widen and the bowl will shatter. In my imaginary world, Satoko broke when I rubbed her head. She thought my hand was her uncle's hand. She pushed me away and hid behind the curtain and cried out for her brother, saying, "Nini, Nini."
Who told you that she called her brother Nini?
Huh? I don't know. I guess someone did. That's what she calls Satoshi, right? Anyway, it was devastating to hear her cry like that. I wanted to comfort her, but I couldn't even get close. She cried more as I walked closer to her, because she thought I was her uncle.
You're amazing, Keiichi-kun. I can't believe that was only your imagination. That's exactly how Satoko-chan was last year. I remember it clearly, but it's impressive how you can imagine it since you've only been here for a few months. You really are amazing. So that explains why you feel the same urgency we do.
So, you feel the same way I do?
Yes, I can't imagine it as clearly as you have, but I think Satoko-chan will break in a few days if we don't do anything about this. I think she'll hide behind the curtain and scream for her Nini. That's when we'll finally realize something. It's not a crime to be powerless. It's a crime to do nothing. Huh? It's only in my imagination, but I'm crying, as though it's happening right in front of me.
Rena can also sense how urgently we need to save Satoko. Not everybody feels that way, though. My friends all do, but they're special. And normal people like those at the Child Consultation Center see us as overreacting.
They have a point, though. We don't really have anything to say back to them if they're going to claim that it's only been one day. It's just like getting a cold. Doctors always say, let's see what happens for a couple of days.
Rena, I think we should trust our instincts. We have no time to spare. We have to save Satoko now.
Yes, even if I can't come up with a good idea... Even if I can't come up with a good idea on our own, together we can accomplish anything. When I was down and depressed before, someone told me the same thing. I think now is the time to come together and show people what we could do.
Yeah. I don't know who told you that, but that's exactly how I feel. It was strange. I've had this feeling ever since Rena told me this story at school. It felt like I, too, once learned a lesson after some event. But Rena and I only met recently. I guess it's just a coincidence. Anyway, I was so lonely inside of my imagination. I thought it was stupid for them to only sit and think about how they could save Satoko, and I made a selfish decision. But I eventually learned, just like Rena did. You'll never come up with anything good by worrying about something on your own. You have to talk to your friends. That way, they'll help you reach the best possible solution.
You said something when you stood in Shi-chan's way today. You told her to trust you. You said that you didn't have any idea yet, but you would find one soon. I'm going to trust you. I believe that you'll come up with the best solution.
Don't just rely on me. You could give me some ideas if you have any.
Oh, that's not what I meant. I have faith in my friends at all times. I'm going to trust us. I know that we could save Satoko-chan, but we're not going to use a shortcut.
That's right. We'll save her from this mess. Keep on believing. I believe in us too. I'll never think that I'm the only one who's trying to save her. I believe that all of us feel the same way. Let's have a meeting tomorrow. Chie-sensei might have new information too. We may not be able to come up with a good idea right away, but she might have something.
Yeah, you're right. I know that there's always another option.
That's right. We're not going to give up. There is a better way. I'm sure there is. We may not find it right away, but we'll never give up.
No, never.
Mion praised her for it too, but Rena really is strong in a crisis. I got a little emotional when I was talking with Mion, but Rena is different. Her fire is quiet and blue, so at first glance it seems lesser than my bright red roaring blaze, but the truth is the opposite. Blue flames burn far hotter. As I spoke with Rena, I felt my useless wild energy calming down so I could rationally search for the best solution. Through that, I felt Rena's strength. Though apparently, Rena felt similarly about me.
When I'm talking with you, I feel like I can accomplish anything. You're so strong and reliable.
Huh? Really?
I feel more courageous when I talk with you. I feel more confident that we could save Satoko-chan.
I get calmness from you, and you get confidence from me. We balance each other out like that, huh? We're a good combination.
Mi-chan has a lot of power as a member of the Sonozaki family, but she has a very frail heart. But I believe that you and I can support her.
That's right. We have nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, I agree.
Talking to Rena made me feel very confident. If I can share that confidence with my friends, I'll never feel down and miserable ever again. I'm going to give my power to the other club members, so we can fight even harder.
Rika-chan is really depressed right now. She lost her will to fight. But I'm sure she'll get it back when she sees us working hard.
You're right. Once she gets her willpower back, nothing can stop us. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's talk about our plan and involve the principal too. We should get advice from as many people as we can. Let's find the best possible solution. That's the best thing we could do right now.
Yeah.
I got off the phone with Rena. That was a pretty passionate conversation we were having. It's unfortunate that the Child Consultation Center came to the conclusion they did. But if they could still decide to wait and see, then that proved that Satoko was still safe for now. We are no more than children. Worrying about it too much won't cause us to come up with any good ideas. Murder isn't a real solution. But I had to admit, I thought about it once. It's easy to burn up in rage. However, I'd have to stay calm, like Rena. She was still burning up very calmly with a blue and quiet flame. I beg to differ, Keiichi, exactly. I'd never seen anything like that before. Keiichi, go take a bath already. Hurry up. I heard my mom speaking to me. You could go ahead of me, Mom. I needed more time to think about what to do with Satoko. Everyone else was probably doing the same. You should go first. There's bath salt from real hot springs in there. Feels really good on your skin. I don't think there's bath salt in real hot springs. Ha 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 ha. Milk tastes so good after a bath. My dad seemed to be in a good mood. He probably finished his work. He's as scary as a bear when he has artist block. Ah, maybe. Maybe my parents could help with an idea. They're the closest adults to me, after all. Should I talk to them? Stupid question. I had no reason not to. I'd have to talk to them and seek some advice. Dad, I have something I want to talk to you about. Huh? What's this? Is it about the auction at the coming festival? You have my full support. Speaking of which, when is the next festival committee meeting? They called me to participate too. I'll have to mark my calendar. Oh, it's not about that. My classmate is in trouble. As I talked about Satoko, my mom joined in and listened as well. My dad is a strange artist, but my mom is a normal person with common sense. She might be able to help. I just got a call and found out that they put our case on hold. We're wondering what we should do now. They've already called the Child Consultation Center, so you should let them take care of it. Artist L, it's a tough life out there. She was being abused last year too, right? I don't know how bad it was, but I think it's wrong for him to force her to move out of her friend's place. He was neglecting her for a year after all. We can't just wait and see what happens just because the consultation center said to. We're her friends, so we want to be more aggressive about saving her. But we have no idea how we could do that. Keiichi, don't even think about attacking him. I'm not. I wouldn't talk to you guys if that was on my mind. That's true. I thought you might ask us how to commit a perfect crime. Hey, I would never ask my parents something like that. I think. Keiichi, you're right. There are many battles in this world, but it's always important that you follow the rules. People won't help you if you're going to break them, and they won't respect you either. You have to fight according to the rules. Are there even rules for battles? Well, anyway, do you have any ideas? My parents have been alive for more than twice as long as me. They must have had some experience with things like this. They must have many good ideas. At least, that's what I thought. But they crossed their arms and went silent. Calling the Child Consultation Center is the first thing you should do. But what do you do if that doesn't work? Do you think we can even rely on the law? Do you think the police won't do anything until Satoko is seriously injured? I think you have to make an appeal. Appeal? What, you mean sue him? That's not it. The Child Consultation Center is supposed to take care of the child abuse cases. But if you're unsatisfied with the decision they make an appeal to the court. Keiichi, you go to the court when you can't resolve an issue with the person you're dealing with. It's the final place you go to. You want the Child Consultation Center to protect Satoko-chan, right? But they made a decision that you disagree with. And are we ace attorneying in my Higurashi? We need to make an appeal to the Child Consultation Center. If we're unsatisfied with the decision they made, we could simply go and tell them that. We need to go there and explain to them how serious this case is.
Yeah, that sounds good. They have no idea what situation Satoko-chan is in right now. Since they're misunderstanding what's going on, we have to go there and make it clear.
I see. That's the best approach. I don't know about that. I've heard that they never change their decisions once made. It might just be a waste of time. We don't know until we try. Giving up before even trying is what losers do. We have to try everything we can. Remember what the principal said? We'll fail if we give up before even trying. Shion, your fire is blazing bright red, ready to do whatever it takes, even if that's acting hasty to save Satoko. But truly hot fire is blue and calm. Don't give up. We should do everything we can. What do you think, Chie-sensei? Am I wrong? No, you're not saying anything wrong. You've calmed down a lot. I was concerned for you because I thought you might come up with an idea to attack him in the dark. That's what my mom was saying. Is that how people perceive me? I thought we should wait and see what happens. But after hearing everything all of you have said, and thinking about what happened last year, I now understand that this is an emergency situation. People could change their minds if you're persuasive enough. The Child Consultation Center might change their mind too. They might reverse their decision if you succeed in making an appeal.
What do you think, Shi-chan? You should fight with us rather than thinking about it alone.
I'm not feeling lonely. I'm not sad because I'm all alone. You do sound awfully sad, actually. Maybe you do want to join us. Whatever. Fine then. Let's just go to the Child Consultation Center. I'm going to punch them in their faces if they don't do anything. That's not a good idea, but I feel your passion now. I guess you calmed down after getting some sleep. I'm just serious about this, is all. Anyway, let's go and make it happen. I know where the Child Consultation Center is. This old man didn't know until recently, but it's on the first floor of the library. Mion grinned and showed us the location on a city guidebook. She's really prepared for this. The office is open until 5:15. Don't try and pick a fight with them. We have to stay calm. What? Are you talking to me, sis? Who do you think I am? I'll cry if I have to. Our goal is to make them change their mind.
That's it, Shi-chan. I think we can make it if we leave right now.
It was past 3 o'clock. We'd make it before they closed if we rushed there on our bikes. But they're strict about time, aren't they? They might kick us out as soon as it's time to close. The door will close on time, but once we're inside, they'll never kick us out. Listen, make sure you don't give in when negotiating with these officials. Officials are surprisingly tough, but unlike private citizens, they're not allowed to end the discussion on their own. So when you feel like you can't get anywhere by continuing the discussion, don't give in. You have to dig deep and make sure they listen to everything we have to say.
How do you know all that, Mi-chan?
Who do you think I am? I represent Oryo Sonozaki, member of the Mayor's Social Gathering and the Local Government Monitoring Committee. I speak to government officials all the time. Hey, Mion, is it possible to save her using the influence of the Sonozaki family? Well, not if I have to go through Granny. Ugh. It's impossible to get help from her. Her mind is still stuck in the dam conflict. 100 million with one spirit and stuff like that. She hates the Hojo family to this day. You're talking about Satoko's parents, who were for the dam project. I've never met your grandma, but she needs to learn how to forgive. It's a thing of the past now. Exactly. I agree with you, Ketchan.
So the Sonozaki family can't do anything about it?
Yeah, we can't. I'm sorry. Old people are so stubborn. They cherish Rika-chan, but they don't care about Satoko. That's horrible. I can't forgive Satoko's uncle for aggressively abusing her, but I'm not about to forgive other people for quietly abusing her either. Tell those people to not piss off Keiichi Maebara. I'll do that. Shall we go now? We have no time to waste. All right. We better hurry. Let's get going.
Do you want to come with us, Rika-chan? Let's go.
Rena spoke to Rika-chan, who had been avoiding all conversation. She seemed to have given up all hope yesterday. It was so painful to see her so depressed.
It's just a waste of time anyway. You have to stop saying anyway. You don't know if it's a waste of time or not unless we try. You people did everything you could in your previous lives, but you never found a way to save her. Do you think this time will be different?
Sometimes. I really had no idea what she was saying. All I could tell is that she was being negative about the situation.
Have you tried going to the Child Consultation Center already? Then we should try. Satoko-chan is important to you, isn't she? We have to try and see what happens. I'm sure Satoko-chan needs your help right now.
The world is going to end soon anyway. What's wrong? We have to hurry up. Rika-chanma doesn't seem to be interested. So much for friends. She's so close to Satoko, but she won't even get off her butt to save her. I never thought I'd hear you say something like that. You used to hate her so much. Hehe. What? Is your brain working alright? Why would I hate Satoko? Never mind. Fine, I'll come with you people. I have nothing to do at home but drink until I pass out anyway. You're pissing me off. Are you trying to make a fool out of me?
Stop it, Chi-chan. You stop it too, Rika-chan. Let's get together and save Satoko-chan. I'm sure we can make a miracle happen if we work together. But we need everyone to come together.
How does she not have a constant hangover? This is true. She's very strong. Is it possible to, like, get desensitized for hangovers if you drink enough? Because maybe if she's been drinking for hundreds of years, she's built up an immunity or something.
We can't leave any one of us behind. We need you too, Rika-chan.
Something that Rana said must have given Rika-chan motivation. I could see a slight sparkle in her eyes. Rana had said something interesting. She said that we could make a miracle happen. Oh, this is Rika. Oops.
It's the same thing I said when this world began. At that time, I said I could make a miracle happen, but I didn't say how. But Rana just clearly stated that. We can make a miracle happen if we work together. Yeah, miracles can happen when we work together. And what if there is no miracle? That means we haven't tried hard enough. If we all do the best we can, a miracle will happen for sure.
That's true. Ryugu-san is right. People get stronger when they help each other. You can overcome any obstacle when everyone works together. Yep. Hinamizawa was fated to be submerged underwater. But 2,000 people got together and brought an end to that destiny.
Bring an end to destiny.
As villagers of Hinamizawa, we all know that miracles do happen. We'll win if we work hard together. I think you have no choice but to come with us now, Rika-chanma. If you don't come, a miracle won't occur. Your absence will prevent it from happening.
So it's going to be my fault. That's interesting. A miracle is something that we can make happen. But we need everyone's power to make that come true. Destiny can be defeated. Fate could be escaped from. This can happen with a miracle. A miracle can happen if we unite.
Rena told me yesterday, you'll never come up with a solution if you think about everything by yourself. That's my destiny Pokemon, let's go! The opening slaps. Absolute banger. We have to talk this out together. Don't let fate get the better of you. It's as fragile as a thin sheet of paper.
How can he say that without knowing how stubborn fate can be? To me, a witch trapped within fate. But for some reason, his words sounded very persuasive. He easily changed my fate to play the fishing game. In my previous life, Keiichi saved Rena from her devastating fate. As fragile as a thin sheet of paper. He's saying that the world I've been struggling in for 100 years is that easy to change? Keiichi's made a fool out of me. Interesting.
Fish mention, yes. Very important fish.
I'll go with you.
That's more like you, Rika-chan.
Oh, Rika, are you sure? Hanyu looked at me with concern. She wanted to warn me that I'll get hurt if I expect too much. I don't have any coins left to bet.
I don't have anything to lose. This world is ending soon anyway. But if it was the same in my previous life, I thought all was lost when Rana took over the school. But Keiichi turned everything around. He's saying that fate is as fragile as a thin sheet of paper. I've given up on this world anyway, but I'm interested. Fate will betray you anyway. I'll get hurt as I see it happen to you. Don't worry. I'm not going to get depressed anymore. I have no tears left to shed. I know that they can't save Satoko no matter what happens. That's why I'm doing this. It's the first time we've ever gone to the Child Consultation Center. Keiichi can't make miracles happen. Hanyu spoke to me in a stern voice. Miracles are called miracles because they don't happen easily. If it can happen at any time, it's not a miracle. It's just something that was meant to be. I'm not expecting anything. I'm just interested. I'm curious how Keiichi's going to make his move after saying how easily he could change fate. Rika, please don't hurt yourself anymore. That's none of your business. This music 43 minutes in is good. Yeah, it's nice. Get out of here. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just trying to enjoy my last week alive, like watching a TV show. But I had to admit I was possessed by a strange feeling. It was a little bit exhilarating. I was nervous, as if anticipating something. I had felt the same way when Keiichi remembered the memories from the past in my previous life. I didn't have any coins left to make a bet, but I knew what this feeling meant. If I had a coin left in my heart, I would bet everything on this feeling. If it doesn't work out after trying every option, we'll have no choice but to give up. There's no need for us to give up. Satoko's going to be saved. You'd better prepare a clean blanket for Satoko. She's coming back to you soon. And you'll feel bad if she didn't have a soft bed waiting for her. I like that, Keiichi. Well then, let's go. You might tear apart fate like a thin sheet of paper after all. Yeah, right now I feel like I could take on the ruler of hell. I'm going to make them change their decision. I stood up from my seat. Keiichi is a very good speaker. That's why I never get bored with him. I've been with him for 100 years, but he still keeps me entertained. We're going to go to the Child Consultation Center now. Do you want to come with us, Chia-sensei? I'm going to talk to the Board of Education. They're under the same branch of government as the Child Consultation Center. It might help if I talk to them. After all, I'm working for the public too. That's true. They might listen to what you say. Let's have her take care of that while we go take care of our business. Let's fight them.
All right. Let's go, everybody.
Yeah! Even knowing that everything is doomed, part of me feels like something good might happen. Hanyu told me that it was only a waste of time. I felt the same until a few minutes ago, but I'd become much more interested. I had no idea what would happen. I wanted to see how Keiichi was planning to defeat this destiny. I raised my fist in the air along with them and hurried to the exit. As for Satoko, she didn't come to the school again today. Teppei called the school and told him that she still has a fever. He said that he's going to keep her home for a few days until she gets better. Chia said that she thinks Teppei knows she called the Child Consultation Center. He must be worried that Satoko will rat him out if he lets her go to school. I don't want to think about it, but it's possible that Satoko has visible bruises by now. That could also be why he won't let her go to school. Everything was happening much earlier. Satoko's situation was worsening earlier than it did in my previous lives. How long are they going to make us wait? Those people seem to be free. They should let us talk to them. Those are just general office workers. We have to talk to the actual social worker responsible for the case.
I wonder if they're busy because they have a lot of other cases like this.
I don't know. I wish they didn't have so many issues to deal with.
This world is tragic. So many kids are being abused.
After 30 minutes, they finally called my name. I wrote down my name at the registration, as Mion can't let them know she's from the Sonozaki family. I'm Mayabara. My name was called. I went to the receptionist to find a uniformed older lady. She must be one of the office workers Mion mentioned. Was she really going to be the one dealing with us? Hello, Mayabara-san. I see you're here with 4 other friends. How can I help you today? The only thing I wrote on the registration was that I wanted to talk about Satoko Hojo. Well, we're here to talk about Satoko Hojo's case. Chie-sensei from the Hinamizawa branch school called and made a report yesterday. We would like to discuss the case. Are you her friends? Yes, we're her classmates. Would you please give me a general summary of what you wish to discuss? I heard that you guys put a hold on it because you determined that there wasn't any abuse happening. So we've come here today in order to explain Satoko's situation in more detail. I see. Please wait a few more minutes. That was it from her, then. A real social worker should be coming here to talk with us. She was just asking us basic information. With that done, she was talking on the phone and explaining to someone what I just told her.
What did she ask?
She asked me why I was here. She told me to wait for a few more minutes. I hate waiting like this.
Are those posters and advertisements you've been reading that interesting me?
I see lots of flyers about abuse. I guess we came to the right place.
Report the abuse before it escalates. Check out that slogan. Check it out.
There's a bunch of posters with slogans like that in here. I guess that's what the Child Consultation Center is for.
Is it any help if it's inside the building, though?
Rika-chan was right. They should be posting them all over the city, not just inside the building. Mayabara-sama, thank you for waiting. Please go to room number 2. It's our turn now. Let's go! As we walked, we soon saw rooms numbered 1 through 3. I thought we were going to be talking at the counter, like you do at the bank. But they have individual rooms. I guess it's for privacy reasons. Most of the people who come here don't want other people listening to their conversation.
But I think abuse might be increasing because people try to keep the issue quiet.
People tend to not talk about their family issues. Room number 2. It's this one. As I knocked, I heard the voice of a woman telling me to come in. Hello? It was a very small room. Well, I should say it was narrow. It wasn't wide, but it was very long. There was a counter in the middle, which split the room in 2. The woman was sitting on the other side of the counter. She told us to take a seat, but there were only 2 chairs. I sat down since we were registered under my name. Mion wouldn't sit because she felt that the Sonozaki sisters shouldn't be in the front. Rena tried to offer the seat to Rika-chan, but she refused too, so Rena ended up taking it. It was such a tiny room that it was better for us to take a seat. It was very cramped with the 5 of us. I'm sorry, we usually expect to see the parents, so we only have 2 chairs. I understand that. So, how may I help you today? Should I do the talking? Well, we're students from the Hinamizawa branch school, and we're Satoko Hojo's friends. The school reported that she was being abused to the Child Consultation Center, and I believe that a social worker went to her house last night. We heard that you put a hold on her case. We're here today so we can explain to you how urgent the matter is. Mion nodded. It seemed like I was doing okay so far. What are you trying to explain to us? Will you please tell me? Well, I know it's been only 2 days since her uncle took her away, but it's only a matter of time before he starts hurting her. In fact, Satoko suffered terrible abuse at the hands of her uncle last year as well. We believe it's only a matter of time before that happens again. So we would like for you to save Satoko from her uncle before it does. But from what we understand, the Child Consultation Center has decided to wait and see, right? Are you going to neglect her? I can't believe that you left her there just because she's not getting physically abused. Who's going to be responsible when she really gets hurt? Shion probably didn't like how politely I was speaking to her. She was already flaring up with rage at the social worker. It looked like Mion didn't want her to tear into her. However, she let Shion finish, and she'd get even more furious if we tried to stop her. The woman seemed to be used to people losing their temper, and she continued without reacting to Shion's outburst. I would like to make it clear that we are still working on her case. The results are still pending. We are not abandoning or neglecting her. Working on her case. They're not abandoning her. They're currently reviewing options, I suppose. While their mature phrasing made me start to think that it might be rude and harsh to say they were abandoning her, Rena quietly opened her mouth.
But you left her there without doing anything last night.
No one can ever fool Rena. Taking their time to review options was the exact same thing as abandoning her. The fact is, they left her in that house without taking any actions to prevent her from being abused. We sent a social worker to their house and they met with her guardian. We cannot talk about the case any further for privacy reasons. However, we are not neglecting her. We're going to look after her and her father so they can have a healthy life together. Yo, father? Messed up. He's not her father. He's her uncle. Are you sure you really did an investigation? Excuse me. You're correct. They're uncle and niece. Anyway, we'll be directing them so guardian and child can form a healthy relationship. Shion had pounced on her mistake immediately. I didn't think she needed to be so snappy, but at this point I was starting to understand how different their sense of urgency was from ours. Well, excuse me, but Satoko was living a happy life before, without any support from her uncle. First of all, her uncle disappeared from her life for a full year prior, and now he's returned and kidnapped her away. Isn't that a crime? It wasn't a kidnapping. It's the law that a child must live where their guardian appoints them to live. According to Article 821 of the Constitution, the legal guardian of a child is... He neglected Satoko for 1 year. How could he still be considered her guardian? Shion, that's what the court decided when her parents died, the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Are you serious? That guy is her legal guardian? Yes. I don't know the specific article of law it's written in, but minors must abide by their guardians. In other words, every child has a guardian. They have to have one. That's Article 818 of the Civil Code. When Satoko's parents died, her uncle and aunt automatically became her guardians? Yes, the closest relative gets custody. It seems her aunt and uncle were Satoko's only relatives. If Satoko and Satoshi refused them, they could have had a different guardian, though. But they were the children of the Hojo family, the enemy in the dam conflict. No one was going to take care of them. They were different from Rika-chama. Lots of people wanted to be her guardian, but Father Kimiyoshi got custody of her. 818, we've got 818 Monsters, Inc. reference. Oh, did they? It's been so long since I watched Monsters, Inc. I don't remember. I knew that the Hojo family was in favor of the dam project, and the whole village hated her family for that reason. But I thought everything was over after they canceled the project and Satoko's parents died. Was I aware of the difference? The difference between how the villagers treat Satoko and how they treat Rika-chan? The villagers don't abuse Satoko like her uncle. But maybe there were small thorns left in the village, and they were stinging Satoko occasionally. I don't know if they actually say 818, but they do shout a lot of numbers and shave it. Oh yeah, that's true. I do remember that. I can't say this too openly, but Satoko's family had more assets than her uncle's. And by becoming her guardians, they gained control over those assets. That's why they shamelessly took over Satoko's home. Do you know where they used to live? It was this ridiculously tiny place.
That's horrible. But this guardian neglected Satoko-chan for over a year, right? Can he still claim custody of her? Can he?
Well, in Part 4, Chapter 4 of the Civil Code, there are provisions for the loss of custody. The woman opened a thick book on the counter and showed us that page. Puts a single blade of grass on Renary. 413, we got a 413, shave her head. No. I didn't completely understand what it says on there, but it seemed that a parent can lose custody when they're being irresponsible.
So the law could take away the right to be someone's guardian.
Wait a minute. It says something about the court. Let me see. At the behest of the child's relatives or a public prosecutor, the family court may make a ruling for the loss of parental authority. What the heck is this? So we have to sit around and wait for a family court's ruling before he can lose custody? That's too slow. Well, if something urgent happens, we could temporarily protect her under our custody. We'll also need the approval of the family court in that case. Here, Article 834 for the loss of parental authority. Doesn't this apply to Teppei Hojo? It's a fact that the guardian, Teppei Hojo, abandoned his responsibilities as a guardian for over a year. What is the center's opinion on that? I can't answer for privacy reasons, but the center requested an explanation on that matter as well.
And you accepted his explanation, so you decided to wait and see?
Like I've mentioned, we are currently working on this case. The safety of the child is our #1 priority, and we will make sure that she has a healthy lifestyle and a safe environment. We weren't on the same page at all. They just weren't understanding our urgency. I've never met this Teppei guy. I only know about the situation based on what my friends told me about last year, and what Chie-sensei told us. But I still understood very well. I understood that something really bad was going to happen if we didn't take any action right now. She was being abused by her uncle and aunt last year too. Are you sure that the same uncle can take care of her? You still have the records from last year, don't you? I can't discuss her past records with you for privacy reasons, but we are taking everything into consideration.
She didn't come to school yesterday, and she didn't come today either. He called the school and told them that she has a cold, but don't you think it's a bit odd that she hasn't come to school since he showed up?
That's true, but then she really might be sick. I think we should keep our eyes on her and see what happens. We just know that Satoko doesn't want to be with her uncle. Her uncle is forcing her to stay with him. Our social worker spoke with the child and made their decision after doing so. So that's it, isn't it? Are you not taking this case seriously because she made a false report long ago? I cannot talk about that for privacy reasons. We're taking everything into consideration. Satoko's telling you that she's not being abused because she feels guilty about her brother Satoshi. She may have told you that she's not being abused, but I don't believe that statement.
Do you know that people can lose the will to seek help when they have depression?
Ugh! Stop making excuses and hurry up and save Satoko. I'm not going to forgive you people if something happens to her. You'll end up hurt if you don't do something about this while I'm still asking politely. Stop it, Shion. You're making us look bad. I don't know what her uncle said to the social worker, but he's a violent guy. Please don't be fooled by him. I just wanted to make that clear.
So please, speak with your social worker and persuade them to make the call to save Satoko at once. We ask that you do this for us.
Some of us were getting emotional, but Mion calmed them down and Rena summed it up nicely. I stopped speaking to see what she was going to say next. You mean her caseworker? I understand your concerns. I will tell them that Satoko-san's friends, 3, 4, 5 of her friends came and made an appeal to us. We will continue to work closely on this case, so please let us know when you have further information. Thank you for supporting the Child Consultation Center. And thank you very much for sharing your valuable time with us today. We were still in Okinomiya. We were in the city park, devoid of playing children, staring vacantly up at the madder red sky in silence. I feel like they didn't really listen to our story.
But they also didn't try to kick us out. She's probably just a person who deals with complaints, not the actual social worker that deals with Satoko-chan. That's why she was phrasing everything the way she did.
What did you think about the whole thing, Mion? Well, it felt like we were wrestling with a tree. We didn't get pushed or pulled. It was the same as talking to a wall.
That's not true. She said that they would forward our information to the social worker. Like I said, she doesn't know Satoko-chan in person, so she didn't really have any stake in it herself.
So, you think we accomplished something today, Rena?
I don't think it was a waste of time. But I don't think our passion will be understood by the actual person who's working on the case. She'll just tell them that Satoko Hojo's 5 friends came and requested for them to take her under their custody.
What about the social worker? Can't we talk to that person directly? I don't know. I heard it's a very tough job. I think it'd be difficult for us to meet him or her in person. Someone even threatened to hurt them if they didn't do anything while she was still asking them politely. According to Mion, there's a lot of problematic clients who show up at the Child Consultation Center. It's not a rare thing for them to get aggressive visitors like Shion.
It's so difficult to let them know how passionate we are. They might treat us coldly if they took our passion for simple anger.
I thought you were used to talking with government officials, Mion. Can't you talk to them instead of me? It's not that she's good at talking. They just listen to her because she's Mion Sonozaki. You saw how they treated us today. If she announced herself as a Sonozaki, we wouldn't have been in such a small room. We would have been speaking to the manager in a reception room, right? Mion gave a vague smile and didn't comment. Mion's greatest weapon is her family name. Without that weapon, she's just as ordinary as the rest of us. I shouldn't be thinking about this, but if the Sonozaki family forgave Satoko's family, wouldn't it be really easy for them to save her?
So, the Sonozaki family still hates the Hojo family?
No one has publicly stated that we hate them, but it runs pretty deep. The hag of a grandmother's the one who hates the Hojo family. Her opinion hasn't changed since we were in the middle of the dam conflict. It's been so many years, but she still can't let go of the past.
Stop it, Shi-chan. Satoko-chan is Satoko-chan. She's our precious friend. It doesn't matter what her last name is.
Shion went quiet, and there was silence for a while. Rena was right. Just like how Satoko's last name doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what Mion's last name is either. The important thing is that our friend is being abused right now. We'd have to do everything we can to save her from that situation. We all looked up at the sky as we listened to the sound of cars passing by. We all felt hopeless. We had no idea what to do. Was what we did today going to help Satoko at all? It would have been better if they just kicked us out. That way we could have been angry with them. But after being treated politely like that, we had no choice but to back off and see what they were going to do. We were forced to just wait and see what happens. Everyone was trying to figure out what our next option was. I couldn't expect Chia-sensei to tell us that everything was taken care of at the Board of Education. That would be too good to be true. What shall we do next? I muttered to myself, hoping that someone would respond with a good idea. But the silence reminded me that everyone was just as stuck as me.
Keiichi.
Rika-chan, I'm sorry. I was running my mouth off, but I have no idea what to do now.
I don't believe this.
What? As I looked at her, I realized that the expression on her face was stronger than ever.
You told Shion yesterday. You didn't have a good idea at the moment. But you said you would figure out something. You told her to trust you. So I trusted you. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe that you would even mention that you have no idea. I'm not going to believe that.
I could see tears in her eyes. Rika-chan was sure that I could do something about the situation.
You said it. You said that fate is as fragile as a thin piece of paper. I'm going to believe your words. I still believe you. Because you can easily defeat fate. So, please, help. Help us escape from this fate. Help Satoko. Help her.
A tear rolled down from the corner of her eye. My heart was feeling the same way. Dang it, dang it, dang it! An innocent girl was becoming a prisoner of a tragic fate. She desperately needed help. I told them that they could trust me. In other words, that they could count on me. That they could bet on me. Betting is not an easy thing. If I lost, they'd lose their coins too. What does it mean to trust someone? It's about making a bet on that person. It's about betting a coin. It's about betting hope. Trusting someone is tantamount to placing your hopes in them. I told Shion yesterday. I told her to trust me. I didn't say it just because. I knew that those words meant something very serious. But now, after betraying Rika-chan and seeing her tears, I finally realized just how serious it is. I looked at Shion. She was in a rage again. Mion tried to calm her down, but she didn't have any ideas either. How about Rena? She's always very reliable in a situation like this. I expected to see her strength. However, Rena also looked depressed. We didn't even know if what we did was a meaningful thing. Rena looked down with a devastated expression on her face, since she couldn't come up with another option either. Dang it! I have to do something for them! Rena's blue fire will melt iron. Mion can be strong when the wind is in our favor. Shion is the same way. They'll move forward strongly when the wind is backing them up, but they grow weak when the wind is blowing against them. Despite the whole situation, Rika-chan still believes in us. She believes that we could do something if we all come together. That's right. We all agreed. We said to each other that we would make a miracle happen if we all worked together. What am I? If Rena is the blue fire, I'm the red fire. I burn brightly and give strength to everyone. That's right. I'm Keiichi Maebara. Hire Prime Mike Tyson to beat up the uncle. Will he do it? Can he do it? I'm the magician of words. I have to motivate everyone. The blue fire won't light up unless the red fire does too. When the fire is lit, there will be wind. Mion and Shion will become stronger too. Thank you. You just made me realize something, Rika-chan. Now the flames inside of me really are starting to blaze. Keiichi. We can't give up now. We're members of the strongest club ever. Nothing can stop us when we get together. I can't become depressed over a small thing like this. Rika-chan woke me up. I just realized how serious it is to have people trust in me. Rika-chan knew our personalities well, and she figured out just who she should motivate first. Oh, I'm really starting to burn up. Hey, Mion, stop being depressed. This is where we're supposed to get angry, man. Everyone looked at me with wide eyes as they turned at my powerful voice. They were both surprised by my sudden shout, and waiting in anticipation of the vigor of my call. More and more clearly, I could see it. This was Keiichi Maebara's role in this club. I don't think we did anything at the Child Consultation Center. Just like Rena was saying, they're just going to forward a small note saying that the 5 of us made a visitation. But being treated like that has lit the fires of our anger. You're right. It feels like they gave us the cold shoulder. We were trying to get them to realize how much danger Satoko is in. We have to fight now. We have no time to be sitting all depressed in the park.
But Keiichi-kun, what are we supposed to do next?
Don't tell me that you think we have no more options left. If this was a club activity, you guys would be losing right now. Hey, this is fun. I was feeling depressed too, but now I've got a burning passion in my heart. I felt like I was cheering myself up. Why was I being so sad? If I wanted to save Satoko, I had no time to rest. This was like the final seconds of the last round in a boxing match where we were at a disadvantage. If I stand here stupefied, I'll lose by indecision, so the only option is to press the attack. Was I supposed to give up just because I couldn't knock out the opponent with one punch? No! If I couldn't take him out in one, I'd have to throw 2 or 3 punches. I'd have to try until I could finally knock him out. You're saying that we're going to go there tomorrow? Close, but not exactly. I have no idea what's on your mind. But it sounds very interesting. It isn't like our club to cry ourselves to sleep. We need to turn this headwind around. Yes, Mion is getting her willpower back too.
That's right. I agree with Keiichi-kun. I'm ashamed that I was so depressed. Let's fight.
But what exactly are you trying to do? Remember, everyone, that woman really pissed us off today, but she also told us what our next option is. She never thought she was giving us a hint. She made a huge mistake. On top of that, the next option is something that I'm really good at. I don't know what he's cooking, but he is cooking. Receptionist note. No. Date, year. Subject, about Satoko Hojo-san. Visitor, Keiji Maebara and 4 other friends. They're requesting protection for Satoko Hojo-san to save her from being abused by her uncle. Already being dealt with, ? I'm cleaning out the refrigerator, so please remove your personal belongings by this evening. That's crazy! The disrespect! The bank book frustration. Teppei suspected that Satoko was hiding more money somewhere. But in reality, she had none at all. Teppei had asked her how she survived until now. But she told him that she didn't have to use any money because she was living with her friend. Teppei had made some money off of illegal gambling. While he had some of the money saved up, he had no intention to use it on living expenses. However, there was no way Satoko didn't have the money. Teppei was convinced of that. Teppei's wife, Satoko's aunt, must have taken away the family bank book when Satoko's parents died in the accident. But her aunt also died last year, and Satoshi is gone too. That means Satoko should have hidden the bank book somewhere. However, no matter how much he threatened her, she told him that she didn't know anything about it. He continued to question Satoko, still believing that she was hiding it somewhere. He couldn't beat her because her teacher in the child consultation center would suspect him. So he wouldn't beat her. Instead, he spoke to her in a loud and violent voice and broke furniture in front of her. Threatening people like that is Teppei's forte. However, Satoko continued to claim that she had no clue about the bank book. She didn't seem to be lying. After destroying the whole living room, leaving Satoko frightened like a scared little animal, Teppei finally believed that Satoko had no idea where the bank book was. In that case, where could it be? Teppei had 2 ideas. One idea was that his wife hid it somewhere in secret. The other idea was that Satoshi took it after his wife's death and hid it somewhere else. Either way, he was certain that it was hidden somewhere in the house. He told Satoko to clean up the mess he made in the living room and started searching around the house. Teppei was starting to get bored with Satoko. He'd heard that Satoko's parents had a lot of money saved up, but his wife had taken control of the money herself. Since his wife had been quite thrifty, he was sure that she left the bank book somewhere without using it. Once he got his hands on the money, he could move somewhere else entirely. Teppei was still acquainted with a few people from the gambling spot in Gogura. People he used to help out are still hanging around in the area. They still owe him. They should at least let him crash there. It was great that Satoko takes care of all the chores around the house, but Teppei still felt uncomfortable about being watched by both the school and the consultation center. Teppei, all too aware that he's a man of violence, couldn't stand living with Satoko without being violent towards her. The more he suffered, the stronger his urge to beat up Satoko grew. Since Teppei only knew joy through forcing others who resisted to submit, testing to see how violent he could be before the helpless Satoko resisted him was something he was excited to try eventually. Still upset by over the visitation by the school teacher, Teppei promised himself that he would destroy Satoko's life before leaving the village. What the heck, dude? That is crazy.